Hey, what is going on, guys? Dope Sporter here. I hope you all are doing fantastic. I am pumped right now because my gaming and editing and video setup is the best it has ever been, which kind of obviously, I guess you start off with a kind of basic setup and it just grows and gets better as, I don't know, if you're not even into YouTube, you just kind of add to it and it gets bigger and better and all these other things. But basically, I finally got myself a mic stand, so my mic is no longer on the desk, which is kick ass because I always hit the desk when I'm recording commentaries, which causes a loud like dunk sound. I also got a pop filter, which is awesome. I've been needing to get one forever, and so I finally got one, so hopefully my audio is even crisper and clearer than ever before. Also mounted my TV to my wall finally, so I've got a lot of shit going on even since my last setup tour, which is just like 2 weeks ago. But I'm not gonna do one for a little bit because otherwise, I don't know, it's just too many of them too soon. So maybe around Christmas time you guys will get another one. Anyways, I'm basically gonna be talking about things that I learned from my 1 year of making a living off of Craigslist to hopefully give you guys some tips and tricks and insight on what to be careful for and look out for in general when doing Craigslist deals, but specifically gaming stuff, because I did a lot of gaming stuff on Craigslist as well as cell phone stuff. But I mean, a lot of these stuff will be kind of generalized. So first and foremost, some of these are going to be pretty obvious maybe, but just bear with me, guys. So first and foremost, avoid at all costs doing a Craigslist transaction in the dark. Doing a transaction in the dark, no matter what, even if it isn't a sketchy transaction, it makes it feel way sketchier. So number one, avoid doing a transaction in the dark. Two, I would say as much as possible, try to avoid going to someone's house or their actual location. One of my buddies told me that like that's less sketchy because you have their actual physical address and like someone's not likely to invite you to their house to like to do something bad, but still it feels kind of sketchy to me. And I've had another commentary where I told you guys about this apartment complex I got invited to buy a Xbox, and it was like the sketchiest thing of my life. Like it's a miracle that I even made it out alive, and I'm here to make this commentary. So definitely avoid going to someone's house unless you have to for whatever reasoning. I would say the best places to meet somebody is going to be in a place that has a lot of traffic and people. So for me, one place I typically meet up is off of one of the fast food places near my house, right off the freeway. So it's convenient for people. It's kind of like not too far out of the way. It's a pretty central location, but there's still a decent amount of people around. I usually just meet in the parking lot, but if you want, you could say meet inside or something like that, just to kind of be safe, because you don't want to put yourself in harm's way or harm's risk. So next pointer would be, do not trust anyone on Craigslist. And what I mean by that, I hate to basically, I don't know if it'd be stereotype or just put everyone into one category, but I've dealt with enough people on Craigslist to know that there is a lot of scam artists and he said, she said, and oh, I thought, and you know, just kind of bullshit. So do not, if someone says like, oh, I think it is, or oh, I'm not sure, chances are they're kind of BSing and it's a cover-up of some way, shape, or form. So just definitely look out for that. I would say if you're, okay, in regards to video games, if you are picking up games off Craigslist, you're fine buying, you know, like old school cartridges and stuff like that. You're not really going to run into a problem. I've never had an issue. When you're dealing with disc games, as stupid as this sounds, make sure you open every single case for the games, because I've had times before where like a case will be empty or there'll be a different game in it or something like that. And also check to make sure they're not really scratched up, because especially with like the 360, you had that circle of death or ring of death scenario. So definitely look out for that. Next is if you're buying any form of console and it has a warranty sticker and that you can see that it has been opened, and you ask the person like, hey, why was it open? And they say, oh, I don't know, I just was looking inside or whatever. That is probably bullshit. It's probably been messed with, tweaked with, worked with. So I would say if you see a console's been opened, buy that thing with the intention of it probably not working, because chances are it's not going to work, even if they say it's working. Just because, again, I've experienced that many times before, that people say, oh, I don't know why it's been open. They know exactly why it's been open, so definitely avoid that. And in terms of buying consoles, like, if you're buying older consoles, again, usually you're fine. Like, I know I've never run into an issue with, like, an NES, Super Nintendo, N64, anything cartridge-based, aside from NESs needing to have their pins replaced, but that's quite common and a very simple repair. But when it comes to anything that takes discs, buy carefully, because the thing is, you know, even PS1 and PS2 and things like that, the lasers do go bad and do burn up and the disk drives do fail. So when you're buying those, again, those are kind of like lower, I guess, cost items, so the risk factor might not be as much in terms of a loss, but still be careful. For me, like, I usually, it depends from time to time, but if the purchase is anything over like somewhere between 50 to 100. Anything above that range, I want to see the thing working and be able to test it and feel it beforehand. And those are the times when I actually will go to the people's houses usually, but I'll make sure it's during daytime. And again, you have to kind of gauge each situation differently, because if you get weird, sketchy vibes, avoid it at all costs. You know, usually your gut instinct is correct and accurate, so if it feels wrong, and you know, or if the deal seems too good or something like that, it probably is too good. And you know, I've learned that also time and time again. Last thing I will say, this is kind of more so for selling stuff. Avoid having people come to your house. Like, I know that's not the case with everyone, and if you run like a mod or repair shop off Craigslist, then you're, you know, obviously having people come to your house. But if you're just selling 1 or 2 items and the person like insists on coming to your house and it's not an item that really needs to be tested out, I would say avoid that at all costs, because I've had like really sketchy people show up at my house and then constantly like you know, hit me up, and knowing that they know where I live freaks me out, because I'm like, what if this person shows up at my house, like, I don't know anything about this person, whether they're like sketchy or what their issue is. I also had another guy one time that got off work really late, and I agreed to have him meet up at my house. I was giving him a kick-ass deal on whatever, I don't remember what it was I was selling him, but I was giving him a really good deal, and I told him, hey, you know, just make sure you give me a call when you get here, and I'll come right out. The dude rings my doorbell at 1 o'clock in the fucking morning, and my parents have work the next day, so that was awesome. I mean, again, that's just things like that. You don't know who you're dealing with on Craigslist, and again, not everyone is a bad person on Craigslist. A lot of people are just normal people trying to sell shit that they have, but again, especially when you're dealing with like video games and high dollar items or like cell phones and stuff like that, always be careful. And again, with cell phones, majorly make sure that you call, right? Like if you have T-Mobile, usually you're going to be fine by popping in the SIM card right then and there, and you can see whether the phone is good to go or not. But when it comes to like Verizon or I believe Sprint, make sure you call and get the number verified that the phone has not been reported stolen or lost or has like unfinished payments due on it, because you're going to get screwed, and it's happened quite a few times. I had a buddy personally who bought a phone off Craigslist who turned out it was stolen from a kid at school, and they were able to basically catch the kid that stole the kid's phone. So it was a big crazy thing. But I guess I'll end it on that note. If you have any other pointers, tips, or tricks, leave it in the comments down below. Hopefully some of these tips helped you out, and maybe you didn't know these things and you haven't used Craigslist as much as I have, or really any other service or thing where you're meeting up with people locally in your community. On that note, I hope you guys are all doing well again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more great videos, and I will see you later on. Peace, guys. Hey guys, don't forget to hit the like button on the bottom of this video, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe for new great videos every single week, including monthly giveaways. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and I'll see you guys next time.